Let the intro play. Because we're Hollywood. Okay, let me see. I think that's good. All right, so welcome back to the Larry Coyote Show, or podcast. I use the word loosely for that because it's really just watching. So anyway, welcome back. This is actually a relaunch of episode 5. I did episode 5 Tuesday or Wednesday evening, and I covered a lot of the ground that I want to cover now. But the problem with episode 5 on Tuesday or Wednesday was that I made the mistake of playing music. I was playing Pusha T's "If You Know, You Know," as many of you might already know, one of the good songs from Kanye last year. And the next morning, YouTube was right on my neck. They jumped on me saying, "You're playing copyrighted music. Your channel or this video is demonetized. Click here if you want to resolve the issue." So because this is like my fifth episode, I don't have the proficiency that a lot of people might with YouTube, and they've changed their rules recently. So they gave me the option of muting the intro of the song or superimposing a different soundtrack over it. I clicked one or both, or I don't know what I did, but long story short, it had a weird music in the beginning, which was supposed to erase the copyrighted, and then it ended up muting the rest of my audio. So as of right now, it's still sort of trying to work through that, and I'm probably just going to go ahead and delete that video altogether because I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm not going to think about it, but I learned my lesson, and moving forward. So that's the short version of that. A lot of what I want to cover on this episode is pretty similar, and which is really what happened last Saturday, what's happening this Saturday, and anything else boxing related that might happen before the month is over. So as well as a few things sprinkled about, like what's coming up later this year, what's coming up towards the end of the year, things like that. So I don't want to, hold on, give me a second. Let me do this really quick. I do not, I say this all the time, but I mean it. I do not want to make a really long video here. I'm focused. I got some quick bullet points that I'm just going to zoom through and cover, and that's pretty much it. So let's get right to it. Last Saturday, DAZN had fights. I want to talk about the co-main event and the main event. I think Premier Boxing also had fights on either Fox or Showtime. For the purpose of what matters, I'm going to just touch on the DAZN ones because I wasn't really interested, following, or focused on any of the PBC fights from last Saturday. That isn't to say PBC isn't worth watching. We got some really hot stuff coming up on this Saturday, but there wasn't anything worth probably mentioning, in my opinion, last Saturday. So we'll talk about the co-main event for DAZN that occurred and the main event. The co-main event was probably more exciting than the main event last Saturday. That was Diego De La Hoya versus Santa Ana's own Ronnie Rios. Now, I'm from Santa Ana, so you know I'm partial to Ronnie Rios. Been watching him for many years. I think about a decade ago, as he was still a little kid up and coming, he got the front page of the OC Weekly. They did a little a biography on who he is and what he hoped to be, things like that. He grew up doing really well. He was on a really good career path until he got derailed about 3 or 4 years ago by Robin Hood. I think I don't want to say if it's his name is Robin Hood from Celaya, Mexico. Really good fighter. His record was had 10 losses on it. So a lot of people expected Ronnie to steamroll him. It didn't occur that way. This guy is better than advertised. He came through, knocked him out, probably had a knockout record going in, knocked Ronnie out. I think Ronnie was undefeated at the time. Super shocking. Robin Hood went on and I think he beat, what's that guy from Cuba? The gold medal fighter. His name will come to me. Yoriquis Gamboa, who's probably was one of the premier fighters in the world. He's kind of been on a downward slope. Brought the hurt to him, brought the hurt to Ronnie. Guy's a really good fighter, but my point here is that Ronnie Rios, that kick-started his his descent. He was on the up and up, undefeated, got knocked out. I think he lost one to JoJo Diaz or something around that. And then he himself said that he was thinking of retiring. Stopped going to the gym, wasn't really confident. It's probably one of those things that happens to fighters, when you think you're unbeatable, can take on the world. Next thing you know, you're on the floor. And it probably has to take a mental toll on you. So he had to sort of gather himself, reconvene, hit the gym again, started going hard, going up against a big prospect, which is Diego De La Hoya, who is been a guy that has actually been on the rise. Oscar De La Hoya's nephew. I think he's his cousin. So, it goes without say that he was being promoted the right way. Diego was looking good, man. Looked like a superstar in the making, up and coming, beating people up. So the whole clash between Diego De La Hoya and Ronnie Rios, to me, was a real good matchup that was set up by Eric Gomez, I think, at Golden Boy Promotion. So they fought. They got it in at the StubHub Center in Carson on Saturday. That was a really exciting fight for me. I honestly thought that Diego De La Hoya would probably take it. I was thinking that Ronnie Rios probably just didn't have the drive, the passion. Maybe his skills had plateaued, but he came in, did everything I was hoping he would do. Man, actually, let me back up. During the press conference, I didn't watch the press conferences, but as you know, usually before a fight, guys, they do the whole thing where, they go like this and they stand next to each other. They do a photo op and then they have to do a face-to-face. It's called a face-off. Ronnie Rios did some real weirdo stuff. He literally just showed up, took the photo, and right when it was time to look at the other guy in the eye and, set the promotional poster, he literally walked away. Didn't say a word, just walked away, vanished. Looked like he kind of got chased off, which is kind of weird, but I think he had mentally programmed himself to do something other than talk. And that he did. He showed up. The fight started with action right off the get-go. They were trading hard punches, combinations. Immediately, right from the onset, it looked like Ronnie Rios was possessed. He was hitting as hard as I've ever seen him hit. Diego De La Hoya was taking him, giving back, but it became pretty apparent that that it was going to be a shootout, and that Diego De La Hoya was going to be, if he didn't do something different, it was not going to be his night. He right from the gate, he looked like he was outgunned to me, and that was a little surprising. I'd never seen Diego De La Hoya come in looking like. I never seen him start that way. I'd never seen him not confident. I'd never seen him be on the defensive so quick. So they started trading really quick, and immediately Ronnie Rios started digging to the body, putting the hurt to him, landing some vicious left hooks to the face. Ronnie's right hand was down and his chin was up. So Diego De La Hoya, Ronnie Rios immediately capitalized on that, totally exploited it, brought him down to the floor, knees buckled, doubled over. Diego De La Hoya was looking up at the sky as the referee was counting, and he looked lost, man. He looked lost. The referee gave him the count. He got up. It is said that he said he did not want to continue. I didn't see that. I saw the referee kind of wave it off, saying like, "Nah, man, you don't look like you don't look like you're going to be able to defend yourself." But anyway, Diego De La Hoya took the loss like a man. Ronnie probably put himself back on the map, which is a real good thing for Santa Ana boxing. Ronnie himself, his career. If anybody knows Ronnie, let him know that I got this boxing podcast going. I'm in Santa Ana, and I want to interview him. So just throwing that out there in case anyone has any information or you come across this. Okay. So that was a real good fight. Probably my favorite fight last weekend. In addition to that, we also had Rey Vargas versus Tomoki El Mexicanito Kameda. Rey Vargas is Nacho Berisstein's current prodigy. He's a champion at, I think, 122, undefeated. Real tall for his height. I think he's 5'10 and 122 pounds. Skinny dude, tall, good reach, great fundamentals, can take a punch, knows how to move, knows how to keep the distance. It's going to be really hard to beat at 122. He beat Tomoki Kameda, who didn't do very bad. I actually had him at some point. The fight was pretty even. I think towards the end of the fight, I had him losing by probably 2 or 3 rounds. The judges actually had him losing by more. I think they had him losing by 7 rounds. So that was a little surprising to see him lose by that much. I did expect him to lose, but not by that much. So Rey Vargas took the victory. Nacho Berisstein does it again. Keeps producing world champions out of that little factory he's got in the Mexican capital. And I think as long as the old man stays alive and doesn't retire, he's probably going to be able to continue to polish talent from Mexico that way and create world champions. So Tomoki Kameda takes a back seat. He's a very marketable kid. Japanese, speaks perfect Chilango Spanish, doesn't speak any English. Good looking. You know, everything about the guy shows that if he wants to keep boxing, there's always going to be another fight for him. So he should keep going. And I did see a lot of good things come out of him during that fight. Not enough to beat the champion, but the champion seems to have his sights set on other horizons and beyond the current weight class. So maybe in a year or two, Tomoki Kameda can bounce back. Maybe sooner, actually. Maybe in 6 months. Fight for that belt, win it, and then make himself a champion at the 122 weight division. Rey Vargas is talking about possibly moving up and enticing Leo Santa Cruz to a fight at 130, I believe. Sounds super appealing. I liked what I heard. Does anyone know, though, where is Leo Santa Cruz? I haven't seen him, and I think I don't think I've seen him fight since he beat Frampton in the rematch. So, Leo, where are you? Incredibly inactive. Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell is another guy that I'm a little disappointed. The work rate of these two cats has not been what I would have hoped or expected. So if anybody knows, hey man, this guy's got a fight coming up, let me know, because I'm not lying to you. I'm in the dark about it. I don't know what's going on. These guys are. Leo used to be super active. Currently, not so much. I don't think he's fought in a year or two. Maybe he's chasing groupies. Maybe, maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's got money and doesn't need to keep fighting. But I don't think it's fair for a lot of, young kids out there in the gyms working their heart out to try to become world champions. And then you got guys like Leo Santa Cruz and Gary Russell basically holding belts hostage, only coming out of their cave once every year and a half, fighting 2 times every 3 years. It doesn't do good for the sport. I think these sanctioning bodies should do a little more in taking the belt away from inactive champions and telling them, hey man, the belt's here, but we're going to let other people scrap for it because you seem to be in no rush. And, I think it would be better for the sport. I know they do it sometimes, but they haven't done it as much as I would hope that they do, especially for guys that haven't fought in a year. I think there should maybe be a cutoff of like 8 months to a year. Hey, man, if you don't defend the belt against a top 3, top 4, top 5 guy, then by default it has to go kind of like float and let the next 2 guys that swim towards it clash and win or take belt. That's what I think. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. Tell me if you disagree. Where is Gary Russell? Gary Russell is probably one of my favorite, most fundamentally sound fighters, but he's one of these guys that I don't think he likes boxing. I saw him at a Showtime event once on TV. He was with the commentators. The commentators tried picking his brain about, hey man, what do you think of so-and-so fighter, this and that? give us your thoughts on the current landscape of boxing. And Gary Russell said, I don't know anything about boxing. I don't even watch it. I just box. That was a big disappointment. Don't put on the headphones. Don't put on the headset. Don't get the microphone. Don't step up to get interviewed about your thoughts on the sport and not know anything about it. Leave that for people like me who don't actually box but can talk your ear off. You should do most of your stuff in the ring and don't do those if you're going to start answering like that. I thought that was unacceptable, and I was really disappointed to hear him have said that. So after that, I kind of started looking at him a little different. So anyway, calling you guys out. Leo Santa Cruz, do something. Looking lazy. Gary Russell, do something. Looking lazy, or retire, or at least give up the belt and let other people have a shot at it, because there's a lot of little kids, young guys out there that they dream of that, and you're basically robbing them of their dream by holding the belt hostage and just being a hermit at your palace or whatever. So anyway, moving on. Wilder Fury. It's the rematch has been signed. It's on the board for February 22nd. It will come before you know it. It's about 6 months out. So good news, it's signed. Bad news is it's not till next year, but next year will be here before you know it. So that's good. Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua is still to be determined. It keeps getting said that it will happen in the fall, but I have yet to see any signed paperwork or official event notice or anything like that. So it's tentative, but nothing has actually been agreed to yet, from my understanding. So I'm guessing there's some behind-the-scenes negotiations occurring there. As you know, the Mexican holidays are moving on. Mexican holidays for boxing are May and September. Typically, the number one fighter in boxing uses those dates, and they become the pay-per-view events. This year, as you know, Canelo has been fighting all those dates. For whatever reason, he gave up September. So he canceled this September fight. There was never a fighter announced, but I don't know what happened. He canceled it. Maybe he's not in shape. Maybe he couldn't get the right negotiation finalized. I don't think he's ducking Triple G at all. I honestly don't even want to see Canelo Triple G anymore. We've seen it twice, and I don't see it ending any differently, except maybe with a Triple G getting knocked out. I'm just being honest with you. Like, he's not. How does somebody get faster as he gets older? It doesn't happen. That's what he needs in order to catch Canelo. And I don't see him getting stronger. He's already hit Canelo with his strongest punch. So anyway, bad news, Canelo September is not happening. Good news is he's promised he will fight before the year's over. So there's that. And I think, let's see what next. Okay, so we talked about what happened last weekend. We talked about what's happening in the future. This weekend, though, Manny Pacquiao versus Keith one-time Thurman. That's probably a fight I'm really excited about. It's pay-per-view. I was a big fan of Thurman. I think I still am, but I had been betting again for Pacquiao to lose the last three. I've lost money on Pacquiao the last three times because he's at 40 years old now, and I keep saying, oh man, this guy has no respect for getting old. He's still trying to fight, and I keep thinking he's going to get knocked out or beat just because I keep remembering what Marquez did to him. But he's been actually fighting really well and beating everybody that you put in front of him. So I can't really keep betting against him anymore. I can't afford to keep doing that. I really think that Manny Pacquiao is going to show up, and he probably has the advantage when you take into consideration that Josecito Lopez really was putting the hurt to Keith one-time Thurman about 2 months ago. That, and then further consideration that Keith Thurman's pretty much been out the game for about 3 years. Car accident, hurt his back. I think elbow or shoulder surgery. Lost some power. I don't know that he's that focused on the sport. Got married, traveling the world. You know, he's got money. He's not really hungry, but I think he wants to prove something. I don't know if he's going to be able to. If you would have asked me 3 years ago, this would be an easy yes. Keith Thurman wins all the way. Today, as I sit here now, Friday, with the fight happening tomorrow, given what I've seen from Thurman in the last 3 years, I got to give the edge to Manny Pacquiao. So, and we all know that Thurman should have probably been fighting Spence. Nobody wants to fight Spence. Spence is the kingpin now. Thurman is taking a back seat. I think the fight for Manny Pacquiao is probably a little better because at least Manny can beat you, but he can't retire you, whereas Spence is a really hard hitter. If he gives you a beating, I don't know, man, you might not come back. So just because, Spence is way bigger. Manny's way smaller. I think Manny wins it just off of speed, points, 12-round decision. If there was an option to bet on a Keith Thurman knockout, I see him possibly winning, but it's a low percentage. It's a low percentage occurrence from where I stand. Let's see. So anyway, be looking out for that. It's happening tomorrow. I think you can get it on the Fox Sports app. You download that, but then you have to pay pay-per-view as well. I don't know. So anyway, you're gonna have to pay. I might just go somewhere and pay $20 and watch it or something like that, because I don't know that I want to. It's gonna probably be 60, and I don't know that I want to pay 60 for it. Okay, let me see. Where are we going next? I think that, I don't know. If you guys disagree with me and you think Keith Thurman's going to win, say it now. Don't show up on Sunday. Oh, I knew you were wrong, Larry. Tell me now. Tell me right now that it's Friday, Saturday morning. I think YouTube timestamps you, so I'll know if you're lying. But I'm riding with Manny Pacquiao this time. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I have to. I have to, man. Once 3 strikes and you're out. I have no, I have no standing anymore to keep betting against Pac-Man. So, been one of my favorites. I just happen to think that everybody eventually gets old, and time catches up with you. But maybe not yet. And Keith Thurman is to me far from 100%. I'm not convinced that he has what it takes. So I'll leave it at that. Wilder Fury, we talked about that. Not a big fight, but happening at the end of the last month of this Saturday. So not this Saturday, because we have Manny Pacquiao. Next Saturday, Tevin Farmer, one of my favorite fighters right now. Absolutely one of my favorite. I like everything about the guy. One, he's not undefeated, so he's not one of these guys that's trying to protect an undefeated record. He's out there. He wants the biggest fights, the best fights, fight anyone, any date, anytime. Name it. He's out on Twitter calling people out. I love that. I follow him on Instagram, calling people out. I love that. Making fun of Tank Davis's weight. I don't know. They're valid points. Tank Davis is he's a small dude, muscular, hard puncher, very powerful. I think he likes the gym. I don't want to call him lazy, but I do not think he watches what he eats. Every time he has to fight, he either doesn't make weight, barely makes weight, is killing himself to make weight, looks white as a ghost, like he's about to faint. I don't think that he has the dietary discipline, but the names I'm throwing out there as far as creating a 4-pack of fighters to kind of mix and match and go up against each other that I think would create like a fiery maybe year of boxing would be Tevin Farmer, JoJo Diaz, Tank Davis, and Ryan Garcia if he's ready to, if Golden Boy will loosen him up and let him fight with the big dogs, because I know he's still kind of young and they're kind of bringing him along. He's cocky. He really has a lot of faith in himself, and he's been on Twitter and on social media calling people out, but he hasn't really actually fought anybody he's calling out, and at least none of the big names. And has a lot of marketability. So I wouldn't put it past Golden Boy to kind of reel him in for another year or two and then just let him loose. But it'd be nice if actually they got him in there mixing it up with some of these guys that I just mentioned. He seems to have the confidence. He thinks he can really do it. So hey, why not put him to the test? And if he loses, he loses. Who cares? He's still young. He's got a lot of years ahead of him. But those guys, JoJo Diaz, I think his last fight, Tevin Farmer showed up during the weigh-in or the press conference. They stood face to face, talked their shit. Love seeing that. Love seeing JoJo Diaz back. You know, he backed himself up. He talked back. Tevin Farmer and JoJo Diaz. That would be a badass fight if you ask me. That would be a super mouth-watering fight that both of those guys would. I mean, they would just kill it at the press conference. The event itself would be hype. Throw in Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, shit, maybe Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell. These are the kind of guys like these guys are all sort of like they can all fight each other. They're all really talented. They're all action. They really should all start. They should all start like zoning in on each other and getting on the radar because I think that's one of the things that will really get boxing back up. So super excited to hopefully see some of those guys start fighting each other in the next 6 to 18 months. And promoters out there, if you're listening, please take what I say very serious because I know what I'm talking about. Anyway. Let's see. So Tevin Farmer next Saturday. He's fighting a guy, truth be told, not so known, but you should watch the fight nonetheless because this guy, everything about him is really cool, man. The punching power, the movement, the combinations. One of my favorite fighters out there, Tevin Farmer. I've won money on this guy every time. So anyway, moving on. Let's see. I think that might be it. A few things in closing. Episode 4, I think it was. What did you guys think of Johnny? Did you like him? Should I bring him on as a guest? What are your 2 cents? He's a good friend of mine, known him for many years. Planning on bringing him back. He didn't want to talk wrestling. I don't know why. Like that's his specialty. He thinks that, it's not popular. Whatever, dude. You're a wrestling guy. You know wrestling. You should be talking wrestling and movies. You just picked up the guitar yesterday. Keeping it real, bro. Anyway, so I think you should talk more wrestling, but people out there listening, if you leave me a comment. Tell me, what did you think of Johnny? Feel free to keep it real. If you think we should get him out of here, I won't get him out of here. I still got to bring him back. He's actually coming back for a show with my buddy Elaine called How Well Do You Know the Quicksta? So if any of you guys out there are big fans of DJ Quick, we're going to have a little game show on. I'm going to read out some lyrics. You guess the song and the album. 1 point if you guess the song. 3 points if you guess the song and the album. I'm going to get both of these guys going head to head, and we're going to find out who wins. So that should be a fun episode. Probably coming up episode 7 or 8. DJ Quick, as a lot of you guys, I'm a West Coast dude. DJ Quick's probably on the Mount Rushmore of West Coast rap artists. So I'm excited for that. And I know a lot of people who are Quick fans will probably look at it and say, yeah, I got to tune in. So feel free on your side when the show airs to write down and then keep score and then see if you can beat either Elaine or Johnny. So anyway, there's that. Episode 4. Oh, when Johnny was here, I noticed that my calendar said September. The show aired last week or about a week and a half ago now. It was July. It said September because I have some work coming up in September, and I took a photograph, and I had to send it to some people and say, hey, are you free on these dates? That was the only reason. So I know you conspiracy theorist weirdos out there can sometimes start talking weird and say, I've heard people use the word time travel out there. I know it's trolling, but I'm going to clear that up nonetheless because there's a lot of weirdos on social media, and I think a lot of you guys just do it for clicks. You're not fooling anybody, but I just got to set the record straight nonetheless. Okay. What else we got? Today's Friday, 7/19, Galaxy versus Los Angeles Football Club. Who do you got? I don't know. I don't want to say nothing. I got buddies on both sides, and no matter what I say, I'm gonna piss people off. I'm not qualified to say anything because I haven't been following either team this season. I will say that I'm a Chivas fan from Mexico. LAFC is not Chivas 2.0. It's a totally different, totally different fan club, totally different history, totally different everything. They're not even the same. If you ask me, they should have gotten an Orange County team. You know, that way it could be Orange County something versus LA Galaxy. But they got two LA teams, whatever. If that's what it's going to be. I think I was sharing who's better in the MLS right now. Zlatan Ibrahimovic of the Galaxy or Carlos Vela of LAFC. So if anybody, who are you going for, Galaxy or LAFC? And or who do you like, or who's the best in the MLS, Vela or Ibrahimovic? Just share that in the comment sections after you watch this. I'd appreciate your feedback, any feedback really. Let's see, what's coming up? Hold on, one more thing. Where is that? Got that. Not a time traveler. Got that. Area 51. Area 51. I'm signed up. So I think it's about 1.5 million of us now. Yeah, we're gonna get in there. We're gonna find out the secrets. Might take that spaceship back home, put it in the garage, go cruising with it on Saturdays. You know I'm in Santa Ana, and you know how that goes down. You got 4th Street, you got Bristol, you got all of Santa Ana really is a Chicano lowrider town, as you know. And we can put some Daytons on that UFO and take it out for a spin. Okay, so hydraulics, they probably already come with hydraulics. I don't think you need to retrofit the UFO for that. It's got its own, luckily. But you need to put a little swag on it, so we're going to have to slap some Daytons on it. Don't ask me how yet, because a UFO doesn't even have wheels. But we'll figure something out, and it should be cool. Maybe one Dayton right in the center where the anti-gravity engine pushes down for propulsion. There's a thought. Also, still looking for sponsors. Let me know. I think I was saying $10. I did get a couple people hitting me up, but I just kind of want to pick up some more traffic and said, hey man, I'll let you know. Let me just get this. Let me get like a good 10 episodes going before I start doing that whole sponsorship thing, because I just want to get some content in there to pad the channel to give people a fallback. So anyway, we're on episode 5. We were on a good pace. I took the last week and a half as a break. Been really busy with work, and when I have a lot of work, I stress out. I don't try to fuck around and do other little hobbies and things like that, because work is work, and that's what pays the bills. So I really got to prioritize and be an adult, and that's the short version. So cool. All right, so fight recap last week. Pacquiao, Thurman tomorrow. Tevin Farmer before the month is over. Where are you, Leo Santa Cruz? You're looking lazy. Give up the belt or retire or come out and do something, because this is ridiculous. Same for you, Gary Russell. Very disappointed in the way you guys have been performing. I think Al Heyman needs to give you guys a call and slap you around and tell you to do something. Or take you off the payroll. I don't even know if you're PBC anymore. Shit. You definitely don't get no pay-per-view at this point. Okay, hold on. I think that's it, man. I'm also thinking of coming up, besides the How Well Do You Know the Quick Stuff, I wanted to do a Freddie Gibbs album review. I really like Freddie Gibbs. I think he's one of the top 3 rappers out right now that is not a legend. I repeat, top 3 that is not a legend. Guys, and by that I mean with the work rate, with the stuff he's putting out right now. Rock Marciano is up there as well, top 3. I'll leave the other one. Who's the other one in the top 3 that you like? Favorite rappers. If I get enough comments about it, maybe we'll feature whoever that person is, and I don't know. Anyway, let's see. That's it, guys. I should cut it short. Thank you so much for watching, and leave me some comments once you watch the rebroadcast. we'll go from there. I want to have another episode. A good buddy of mine want to have a mental health episode. He gets panic attacks. He said he went to Mother's or Whole Foods and started buying these things, and it's making him feel better. And I know mental health is a big thing these days. I fortunately do not suffer from anything. Never have, never will. But he does, and I know a lot of people out there do. So we have to talk about it, and I think it's important. So we'll cover that too, guys. Thank you for following, as always. I appreciate you guys. Just fucking going out of your way to listen to this. So take care. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Be safe out there, and I'll probably do another show in the next day or two as soon as I get some stuff coming in. Okay, guys? So take it easy and good night.